Alright, suppose you start saving today for a $40,000 down payment that you plan to make on a house in 5 years. Assume that you make no deposits into the account after the initial deposit. For the account described below, how much would you have to deposit now to reach your $40,000 goal in 5 years? An account with daily compounding and an APR of 8%. We're going to go ahead and use the following formula. So we're going to use A equals P times the quantity 1 plus APR over N, all raised to the NY power. Now I've gone ahead and done this in color code, and we note that A is going to be our accumulated balance. This is what we're shooting for, and that's going to be the $40,000. Okay, that's how much we want to end up with. Y is going to be the number of years that we're going to be looking at, and for this one we had already decided that it's going to be 5 years in the problem. The APR is our annual percentage rate in a decimal, and we note that that's an 8%, so that's going to be 0.08 for our APR. And the last thing that we need to look at is the number of compounding periods per year. That's our N, and we note that for the compounding periods it is going to be a daily compounding, which is going to be 365. The only thing that's not given in the problem is the initial principal to invest, and that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to find that. It says that we're going to start saving today. We're going to buy the house in 5 years. We're going to make no deposits into the account after the initial deposit. How much do I need to deposit now in order to earn $40,000? So in order to do this correctly, I'm going to have to solve this equation, this formula that I have right here, for P. That's because that's what we're looking for. So really all I'm going to do is divide by the entire amount, or this entire expression right here. If I divide through by that, then I will have what P is equal to. Okay? So let's go ahead and do that. We divide through, and we will end up with the fact that, okay, we can see down here that I've gone ahead and divided through by the entire expression 1 plus APR over N raised to the NY power. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and substitute in the numbers that I need in order to solve this. We're going to go ahead and put 40,000 in place of the A. Then we're going to go ahead and divide by the entire expression that I have written underneath it, which is going to be 1 plus, now it's going to be the APR, which as a decimal is 0.08. And then we're going to divide that by the number of compoundings in a year, which as we've determined is 365. And then I'm going to raise that to a power, and that power is going to be 365 because it's N, times the number of years, which in this case is going to be 5. And this is the expression that I'm going to want to input into the calculator. Now, using any general case scientific calculator, you should be able to come up with this accurately. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use an online calculator called web2.0calc.com. This particular URL is simply that. It's WEB 2.0 calc.com. So let's go ahead and type this in, and we're going to type it in exactly as it's written. So I'm going to do an open parentheses, I'm going to type in 40,000, I'm going to close the parentheses, and I'm going to type divide. And I'm using the keyboard input, but you can use a mouse input to go ahead and click into this if you want to. Then I'm going to go ahead and open a set of parentheses. Oops. I'm going to type in 1 plus, and then I'm going to do a division, 0.08 divided by 365. I'll close my parentheses, and you'll notice right up in here you'll see the 40,000 over the 1 plus 0.08 over 365. That's in this whole thing right here that's now highlighted in blue. And if I do this properly, when I go ahead and use my exponent key, which in this case is going to be the X to the Y key, and you'll notice that it gives me the little hat key, which is Shift 6 on your keyboard. I'm going to open parentheses again, and I'm going to type in 365 times 5, and then I'm going to close parentheses. And now you'll see that this has been typed in exactly the way I have it written in the notes. And we go ahead and we press equals, and this gives me the answer of $26,813.977, which we'll round off to $26,813.98. So let's go ahead and write that in, and we know that P is equal to 26,813.98, and that is in dollars. So on the problem, your answer, so in my math lab, this amount right here, the 26,813.98, would simply be typed in to the answer field. You don't necessarily need to put commas, and then you would go ahead and click check answer, and that's all there is to it.